Festivals, welcome back. I'd like to dedicate this video on henna to one of my followers on the Hairlista vlog, Sheila. Her mom, her aunt, her sisters all watch my videos and follow me and send me messages. She was interested in doing a hair rinse recently, and so I suggested maybe she try henna. So I wanted to dedicate this video to them. Hey guys, and I'm going to go ahead and get started. There's two things I wanted to cover that I didn't cover in my introduction video, and one has to do with gray hairs. I have quite a few gray hairs that are visible like in the center of my head, and the times that I've done henna treatments before, they normally turn to like a reddish brown color. So I'm still working on tweaking for those that have a lot of grays or gray hair, the best method to go about doing this to get the color results that you want. And I also wanted to let you know, henna doesn't necessarily last as long as regular over-the-counter dye. So about a month later, you will start to see kind of the henna gradually wash away. It won't last as long as traditional dye, just so that you're not disappointed. But you will get an incredible shine, as you'll see when I get done, an incredible natural sheen from the inside of the hair. So I definitely still recommend it. Shout out to my boyfriend who's filming so that I could be hands-free and do this for you guys. So the first step that you're gonna do, as I showed you in the other video, the block comes like this, and we're going to need to break it down so that it can be made into more of a paste. So I've seen some people use like cheese graters, or I mean, if you have a grater, that's fine as well. However, one thing I'll mention is I like for mine to be a little bit more clumpy and thick and not perfectly powdered, because the more fine that you get it, the more difficult it could be to wash those particles out of your hair. So I don't mind if mine's a little bit lumpy and not perfectly powdered, because that way it's easier for me to remove when it comes time to wash it out. Also want to mention, as you see, I'm using like metal or glass. Try not to use, I've ruined a cutting board, I've ruined a wooden spoon, I've ruined a wooden serving tray, because the wood will often stain. Even if this isn't wet yet, the green will get into the wood and it turns it a dingy, nasty green color. So just wanted to let you guys know, fair warning, use glass and things of that nature. So I'm going to, and I just want you to see, honey, if you can get in on that. Okay, so what this is going to do as you begin to cut away at the block is to make powder like this. And now if you used a cheese grater or something of that nature, it'd obviously be a lot prettier and more fine, but I like it a little bit clumpy, as I said. So you're just trying to get it as close to that consistency as possible. And then we're going to add it into our, if you had a double boiler, that's what you would use, the container that's going to go on top of the double boiler, or some type of mixing bowl. So I just wanted to show you, for those that don't have a double boiler, you can use a measuring cup or a bowl like this. And what you're essentially doing is sitting on top of a container like this that will have water that's hot to keep this liquid, the paste, warm during the process. So we're just going to try to get this as fine as possible. This is not going to be perfect. As you guys see, it's messy and not the best, but keep in mind that this is going to be added to warm water and it's going to melt down anyway. So we're just trying to get as much of this block down as possible. As I mentioned in the introduction video, for my length of hair, I like to use 3 blocks or 3 squares from the overall henna block. I don't have it down here, but when you purchase these from Henna, like all of Henna's, when you purchase these from Lush, like all of Lush's products, it will have an expiration date on the pack. So just be sure that you're using it before the expiration date. And as I mentioned in my videos before, we love that reality, because that means that you're getting fresh products that are not old or spoiled, etc. Fresh, natural products. And I also mentioned in this video what this consists of is cocoa butter, indigo, and henna, all pre-mixed. I like to recommend this for beginners, this particular brand from Lush, because if you don't use like Lush's brand, which is already pre-configured, then you're going to have to figure out the proper measurements or amounts for your ratios of henna to indigo, which can be a little tricky for first-time users. So this is already done for you. It's a one-step process rather than the 2-step of first applying henna and then indigo after. So I've watched other YouTube videos myself of women using the cheese grater or other methods. I'm just going to add water to this mixture. Some women add lemon juice, some women add water that has been created using black tea bags, coffee. There's all types of other things you can use. I'm just going to try to keep it as simple and foolproof as possible. This is the method I use and I recommend. So as you can see, we're just getting our mixture grated and adding it into our bowl. Okay, so that's one step of the process. Okay, you can press this. Okay guys, so this is the next step in the process. What I've done here is, this is the Henna Indigo Cocoa Butter mixture from Lush. As you can see, I didn't grate it too finely. It's not like perfectly powdered or something if you used a grater to perfection. It still kind of has a little bit of chunks and everything. So don't be too, you know, paranoid about trying to get it too tiny, and we're gonna melt it down as you'll see anyway. Just get the pieces down. So I just have a spoon here that I'm gonna use to stir. And then I wanted to show you, technically, like when I make my beauty products, my homemade beauty products, this would be a traditional double boiler. Like it sits inside of a pan and allows the steam to keep this warm when you're making like chocolate dipping sauce or a sauce to melt, and then you could pour it. So that's what a traditional double boiler would be. But I'm just gonna, most people don't really have this, so I'm just gonna show you guys how to use it in just a regular like glass bowl. So this is just a plain glass bowl. I boiled this water on the stove top, and you can still see steam hopefully coming off of it a little bit, but I let it sit for about 10 minutes after it was boiling. You don't want the water to be too hot, because that has a tendency to deactivate the indigo, or it can burn out the indigo and it won't take the black effect. So I'm gonna pour some of this water. Let's see what's the best way to do. I'm just gonna lather some in here, some in here, and pour it into my henna mixture. So just pour that in and begin to stir. Now some people, I try to make this as simple as possible because it's already kind of a intense process, but some people, you could use like green tea bags or black tea bags in your water and let that steep and add it in. Some people add lemon juice, oils to this. There's different things, different recipes. You can message me if you have questions or are curious, but I just wanted to show you with water, just the simplest way, cheapest way to do it. So that's a bit too thick for what we want, so we're just gonna add in some more water. And we're gonna keep playing with it, adding in water and stirring until we get kind of, I want it more brownie-like, thicker. Oh, also while I'm doing this, I kind of wanted to discuss the smell, because I was reading reviews on Lush's website of people that use this product, and if you, I guess if you're really sensitive to smells, it may be, how do you think it smells, babe? Can you smell it? No, he can't smell. Okay, but it smells kind of earthy, I'll say. It definitely has kind of a grassy, maybe earthy scent to it. So if you're really sensitive to smells, don't be alarmed or freaked out. It kind of smells of the earth, we'll say. So it's starting to get to where I want it. I'm just gonna keep adding in a little more water. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I want any more water. And then ideally you would let this sit on top of your water so it stays warm during the process while you're applying it. But because I need to do it upstairs in my bathroom with a mirror so I can film for you guys, we're not going to do that. Okay, so that's the paste consistency that I'm going to use. Kind of muddy pudding. So, all right, let's go apply. Now I want to show you guys the treatment area in the bathroom for applying the henna. This is going to hopefully save you a lot of headache and cleanup time, and from damaging anything that's of value in your bathroom. So I just want to show you down here, I've taken garbage bags and I've cut them open. You can also use newspapers if you have newspapers. And I spread them out over the floor. If you have a bathroom like white tiles and grout, you definitely don't want to get the henna mixture into those areas because it will stain. So try to put leading from the sink or your mirror area to the bathtub, plastic on the floor. It'll make for much easier cleanup. If you have white cabinetry, we happen to have dark wood, but if you have white, as I do like in my mother's house when I do this, I cover all of that. And I also cover the surface area of the sink, which is white. Then when you're done, you can lift this up and it makes for much easier cleanup. Trust me, no matter how careful you try to be doing this, and I've even had my sister help me, there's gonna be pieces and glops that get on the floor and make a mess. So that's a good tip. Also, if you have a shower curtain or shower liner that's white or a light cream, we obviously shower with it inside the tub to catch water. Be sure you put that on the outside of your tub because it's going to get stained. It's going to have a green film that looks really nasty, so put that on the outside. Also be sure that when you're doing the henna that you have a good like soap scrub cleaner. If you use eco-friendly cleaners or whatever you prefer, that's fine, but make sure that you have that on hand so that immediately after you get out of the tub you can scrub it down to remove the henna particles. Also want to make sure that you guys know if you have nice like light colored bath mats or things of that nature, be sure that you also put those to the side and take them out of the area that you're going to use. So I'm going to go ahead and get changed into a darker colored t-shirt, remove all of my jewelry, my earrings and stuff. So be sure once again you have towels that you don't care about, dark colored towels, and you're wearing dark colored clothing. So let's get ready to henna.